Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you for watching. Today I am going to talk about the English A HL essay. And like some of the other videos I have produced recently for English A, I have 5 top tips that I hope will help you be successful when it comes to this particular assignment. So let's get started. Tip number 1. My first tip for the HL essay is to take a look at the 7 IB English A course concepts. Now, these are something that maybe your teacher has talked to you about. Maybe you've seen them on posters around your classroom. You can certainly find these 7 concepts with additional information in the IB English A subject guide. As a reminder, the 7 concepts are creativity, perspective, representation, culture, transformation, identity, and communication. I wouldn't spend too long worrying about these 7 concepts, but I do think it would be worthwhile reviewing the concepts and at least having these concepts in the back of your mind as you read your HL essay text. And maybe when you formulate a HL essay question, you might want to integrate one of these key concepts, or you might even want to use this one of the 7 concepts as inspiration for some of the points you talk about within the course of your essay. So the 7 concepts, check them out. I think they could be useful. Tip number 2. I would say that you need to treat your HL essay like a mini extended essay. The only differences being that it's much shorter and it's based on a text that you have studied in class. By the time you are writing your HL essay, you probably spent some time working on your extended essay. And because the 2 tasks are quite similar, I would encourage you to think about what you have learned from the extended essay process and see if you can transfer those skills over to the HL essay. So for instance, make sure you are formulating a good research question for your HL essay question. Make sure it's something that is specific, but something that you can actually answer as well. Conduct research, just like the extended essay. For the HL essay, I would advise you to conduct research about the text itself. So you can actually find books written about the book you are studying. Maybe there might be journal articles about that particular novel or that set of poems. I would advise you to look at literary theory, so things like feminism, Marxism, psychoanalysis. Read widely regarding those literary theories and see if you can incorporate anything from those theories into your essay. And if your HL essay topic is about some kind of social issue, for instance, workers' rights in 1930s America, by all means conduct a little bit of research about those social issues as well. But obviously make sure in your essay you are focusing on the text because it's an English essay, not a history essay. Like the extended essay, I would advise you to meet and discuss your progress with your teacher, plan your work, draft your work, and improve your work based on the feedback given. So there's lots of things you're doing with your extended essay that are quite applicable to the HL essay. Don't forget that. Okay, top tip number 3, structure. You need to make sure that you have a solid structure for your essay. And this is quite simple. This is what I would advise you to do. I would advise you to start with an introduction, then the first main section, second main section, conclusion. Maybe you might have 3 main sections, I don't know. But I think having that structure of introduction, main A, main B, conclusion is quite an effective one, quite simple too. Let's break it down a little bit more. So introduction, make sure you are providing some minor background information. Make sure you are addressing the question and make sure you are stating your overall points. In the main sections, I would begin with a connective like first, secondly, in addition, words like that. I would start with a topic sentence that relates to one of the points that you mentioned in your introduction. And at the end of each section, I would make sure you're making a link back to the overall essay question, because if you don't, you might actually lose sight of that question, which is a problem. And then finally, conclusion, summarize what you have written, synthesize the information. So, what can we gather from all of this? And you might even want to think about some of the wider implications of this particular piece of work you have produced. So how might this impact our feelings about the work in question? What can we learn from this? How might this change how we view the world in which we live? Okay, tip number 4, authorial choices, analysis. Students always neglect this, or well, quite a lot of students neglect this, and you don't want to be one of the students who neglects this important feature of the HL essay, because you've got a whole criterion B, dedicated to such analysis. I remember a few years ago reading a HL essay by a student who was clearly capable. Everything about this essay was quite smart, intelligent, thoughtful. They didn't conduct any literary analysis, and a student who should have got a 7 ended up getting a 5. So you need to be careful. When it comes to authorial choices, you need to think about several things. You need to think what device is being used by the author. You need to provide a quotation. You need to think about the general image that the particular quotation puts in your head. You need to think about the image that this puts in your head related to the text. You need to think about how all of this makes you feel. You need to think about the overall impact. So make sure you're digging deep with your analysis. If you want to take it one step further, evaluate the authorial choice. So ask yourself, is it a good choice? Is it a bad choice? Is it effective, ineffective? You may even want to play around with some multiple perspectives. So here is simile. Some readers might interpret it in this way, other readers might interpret it in that way. That could be quite advanced as well. And finally, tip number 5. This is about language. Please proofread your work. Read it and read it and read it over and over again. Make sure it is perfect. We can perhaps excuse a couple of mistakes when it comes to paper 1 and paper 2, because you're writing in exam conditions. Nobody can be perfect. But for the HL essay, it's expected that you have spent some time poring over this work. So the tolerance for those mistakes is going to be much lower. So really make sure you've eliminated all of the basic errors in your work. I would advise you to use various sentence structures in your work. Make sure you're using a range of simple, compound, complex sentences. Also include sophisticated vocabulary that impresses the examiner, and even use some advanced punctuation, colons, semicolons, brackets. All of this will help secure you top marks when it comes to Criterion D language. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. I wish you all the best with your English A HL essay. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that things go well for you in every aspect of your existence. Thank you. Goodbye.